Hey everybody, welcome back. When we last left off, we beat Booster's fun little curtain game. He opened the door for us to the balcony and walked out. So now we have to follow him. You know, the fun part about all this is Booster wanted this Mario doll so that he could practice his wedding rehearsal about how Mario would probably interrupt it. And then as soon as you get the Mario doll down, he leaves. He doesn't actually use it. But anyway, onward. Here we fight Great Guy and Knife Guy. Great Guy and Knife Guy are simply called the Clown Bros in most translations. I mean, I can see where Knife Guy comes from. You know, the knives he's holding. But I don't get what Great Guy means. I don't get what that's all about. But anyway, these two have fairly strong physical attacks. And after a few turns, they team up, they'll stand on top of each other, and they start using strong magic attacks. You have to attack them 5 times collectively to get them to separate again, or, you know, you could just beat one of them. Great Guy also likes to use sleep and mute attacks, so the wake up pin is handy if you have it. I like to beat Knife Guy first because he has less HP and less magic defense, so he tends to go down quicker. And like I said, it's easier to to not have to deal with them teaming up. Let's top off Mario here. Finally getting around to using these mushrooms that have been rotting in my inventory. Jeez, our jump is so strong. Knife Guy was nothing. Knife Guy is also weak against fire, so if you're over-leveled at this point, if you have access to Super Flame, that would make him go down pretty quick too. Great Guy, unlike his brother, has fairly decent magic defense, which is why, despite Mario having used his jump like a madman throughout this entire game so far, we're not doing that much more than a normal attack. But hey, it's still getting stronger every time we use it. And now we jump off the balcony to go follow Booster. Feels like we could have done that without fighting these guys, but what do I know? Maybe they would have jumped off and followed us too. Alright, Mario, we go with whatever boost is biggest. Gino, same thing. Now Malo, we'll keep boosting your magic attack because your regular attack is pretty dismal. Thankfully, this game doesn't have fall damage. Alright, time for a little exercise. Another fun little minigame disguised as part of the plot. Mario chases Booster up this hill. Your goal is to jump on top of the barrels and the Sniffet's heads, once they start moving, to try and reach out and touch Toadstool. Every time you do, you get a flower. If you suck at this minigame, fear not. You can actually come back here later and run up the hill without Booster or the Sniffets. If you've received less than 8 flowers in total from Booster Hill, across all your visits to Booster Hill, then you'll find flowers toward the end of the run just lying on the ground. You can actually get more than 8 flowers if you're really good at this first round, but that's tough to do. And you can only move left and right, or it's more like down left and up right. But yeah, jump on the barrels to get further ahead, also the Sniffet's heads. This first part is hard because the barrels come so infrequently that unless you jump on 3 in a row, you're not touching the princess. Ow. And here comes the Sniffet. Plus, the song is a banger. Ah, so close. Ah, there we go. Nice. We're killing it, guys. Alright, now we're at the phase where there are no more barrels. It's just you and the sniffets. Ow. And if you get hit by a sniffet, you fall all the way back down. Ow. Ow. Come on, how many more can we squeeze out? Ah. Oh, looks like they're gone. How many did we get? That was probably like 6 or 7, right? 7. Okay. So if we really wanted... Why is flowers in quotation marks? Anyway, so if we really wanted to, we could come back here and pick up one more flower. Maybe we'll save that for the end of the game. We really need it. You're seeking a man with the face of a totem pole? How could I forget him? He's up at the wedding hall. I know that line got changed in the remake, but I don't remember what it got changed to. Apparently calling somebody a totem pole face could be offensive, but, I don't know. But here we are at everyone's favorite wedding resort place. Before we proceed any further, let's check out what this guy has to offer us. There's an item shop and a hotel. The super hammer is actually weaker than that masher we got in Booster Tower. And the chomp shell, I think I may be misremembering, but it's either just as strong as the chomp, or has one less attack than the chomp. But we'll grab the handgun and the womp glove. Now, with our handy-dandy work pants, the happy shell is all around worse than the work pants, so we will not be buying that. But we need a little extra defense on the rest of our party for this fight, so we'll buy happy everything else. Oops. Yeah, this makes our attack go down, but hey. The important thing about this upcoming boss fight is survivability, so we just need to make sure we're as happy as we can be with our defense. Alright, let's pawn off. Don't really need a pure water. I hardly ever use those. Trying to think here. Yeah, we could probably just... Well, no, actually I want to keep it pure water for something. You'll see. Soon. Well, let's sell a flower jar. So I want to show you guys the sweet. Buy one of these for good measure. Get rid of the mushroom. Buy a mid-mushroom. Like I said, survivability is important in this fight, so healing is nice. Now, the end of that boss fight healed us, but then we got 7 flowers from the booster track thing. Before I forget, let's grab this hidden chest here. I always forget about this one. Let's check out the suite. For a whopping 200 coins, you can stay at the suite. It's more of a novelty than anything, it really doesn't do much for you. It heals you, like any other inn would. And you do have the option of buying a few things from their bellhop at reduced rates, and you get some gifts for staying in the suite. This first time you stay in the suite, you get a flower tab, which I apparently forgot about when I was buying stuff 2 minutes ago. But the bellhop shows you to your room, and as I'm sure you guys know, a lot of you know from playing this game before, if you stay in the suite multiple nights despite not having the money to pay for it, the owner of the shop makes you work off your debt by helping guests stay at the suite. And that's not... I'm not going to do that right now, but it's something I'll probably do later. Yeah, sure, we'll give you a tip. The terry cloth bathrobe is too small for you. You can ring the bell, and you can get slightly discounted Kiro Colas. It's really about the only perk to staying here. The pick-me-ups are twice what they cost in the shop, and the Kiro Cola... That's a tongue twister. The Kiro Cola is 50 coins less than buying it at a shop. So you have to buy at least 4 of these just to make your sweet money back. Or excuse me, no, that's 50 coins less than what you can sell it for at shops. You can't buy Kiro Colas in normal shops. Wait, yes you can. You can buy it at the Frog Coin Emporium. Anyway, there's a shower in here. But as you may remember from my Super Mario RPG Facts videos, the various prizes that you get for staying at the suite multiple times are unique one-time rewards. And there is one unique... Bro, I already gave you a tip, don't be selfish. There is one unique reward of 20 frog coins for staying in the suite 200 times. Now, for you completionists out there, you have a choice to make. If you want to count this unique reward as part of a 100% file, that's up to you. I'm not going to judge you. While the reward is a one-time thing, frog coins themselves are fungible. If you don't stay, you can get frog coins from other places. If you don't stay 200 times, I doubt anyone will know but you. If you answer that you've slept well to this guy, they'll sometimes give you a prize. Max Mushroom. That's what it is this time around. Better than... yeah, better than a mid-mushroom, I guess. Alright, we'll save. Okay, so as for... It's time for me to rant for a minute. As for whether or not I'm going to be staying at the inn 200 times, my answer is, we'll see. I talked to Pidge about this, actually. She did a completionist run where she live-streamed herself staying at the suite 200 times. She gave me some advice. She said that if you go into the building with at least 600 coins, you can spend the 200 coins to stay at the suite, and then the bellhop sells you the Kiro Colas at a nice discount. And you can use that process, you know, you can sell Kiro Colas downstairs for 200 coins while buying them for 150 coins, and you can use that money to basically fund your stays without having to really spend money. So you're not really spending money, or you at least don't have to go wandering around looking for money as your stays go on. But she told me it was fun. She had turned it into this chill hangout amongst her fan base, but it took about 8 hours. Now, I don't have as big of a following as she does, so I worry that if I did stream it, a lot of it would just be me talking to myself. It's not exactly thrilling content to stay at the suite, so I wouldn't expect that many people to hang around for 8 hours. Plus, I have kids, guys. I don't have 8 hours of time in a row to do anything. Ever. Even sleep. I've considered maybe turning it into an AMA, an Ask Me Anything. So if you have any burning questions you've always wanted to ask me, from the deep and thought-provoking to the stupid, feel free to ask them in the comments, I guess. I'll put them on a list, and if I get enough questions, I might do something like that. I'd probably edit the video down so it's not literally just 8 hours of me repeating the same stuff over and over again. But if there are any ideas out there on how to make that interesting content, I'm all ears. I went ahead and put the sweet stay counter on our counters on the right side of the screen there, but I'm not promising we'll do 200 stays. I might come back in between areas every once in a while to stay, but yeah, that's a lot of commitment. We'll see what happens. But anyway, on to the actual gameplay. Booster ran into the wedding hall and kicked out the current wedding party of Raz and Rainy. They were engaged during the events of Max Invasion, if you remember that whole thing. So now it's up to us to kick Booster out. Again, this seems like it would be Bowser's time to shine by breaking down this door, but instead, if you try to talk to this door, they tell you there's a back entrance. So let's go find the back entrance. Here we are down in the kitchen. If you'd like, you can be a jerk to these chefs and step on the cake. They're not too thrilled about that. You fools. Next, here's Sniffet 1, who locked the front door. He tells us to get lost, but of course we're not going to do that. Make like Mario and jump out of here. You have to jump right there. So he wants to go tell Booster, but the next door is locked too. So he asks if we can help him break it down. We have to do this little mini-game of sorts where we stand next to the Sniffet and run towards the door at the same time to break it down. Not quite. Come on, my guy, you got this. Close enough. Alright, in this next area, the Sniffets, again, lock the door. But then Bowser remembers, oh yeah, breaking down doors is my thing. It's about time. So we have to do the same thing we did before to break down the door, but with Bowser. We gotta move toward the door at the same time as Bowser. Let's save here before this upcoming fight. Now I put Malo in my party because he has higher magic defense, and this next boss uses magic attacks. Alright Bowser, we got this. Once inside, we bump Sniffets and Toadstool, which causes her to drop her stuff. This poor girl is having a rough day. I mean, with all the times that Bowser has kidnapped her, this probably isn't the worst day she's ever had, but it's gotta be up there. I think Bowser has tried the whole I'm going to force you to marry me thing too, with mixed results. But anyway, to save the day, we have to retrieve the princess's stuff and give it back to her. It's another mini-game of sorts. And here the Sniffets tell Booster she's crying because she dropped her stuff. You need to help her. So here's how it works. The candles in the wedding hall are lit one at a time, and depending on how fast you can get everything and how many candles are lit, the cutscene afterward changes. It involves people kissing each other. So we'll see who kisses who. Your goal is to talk to each of the 3 Sniffets to get the stuff that they find, and then the last step is to get the crown off of Booster's head and talk to Booster. So now they'll go ahead and round up her stuff. The crown. Hurry and get back the accessories. Here we go. These Sniffets are very squirrely. You gotta be quick. I think we just barely missed the best cutscene. Well, best depending on who you ask. If you're quick enough, the cutscene is of Princess Toadstool giving Mario a little peck on the cheek. But if you're not quick enough, which I don't think we were this time, you might get Booster or Bowser. Depends. And Bowser's like, hey, I saved you. Why don't I get a kiss? And Booster's just like, I want to feel included. Drum roll, please. Oh, I guess we did do fast enough. I thought I heard 3 candles get lit, but I guess it was only 2. So there you go. We got our kiss, and Bowser and Booster got their kisses too. I like that Bowser is an open-mouth kisser. Good for him. Aw, Mario's all embarrassed. Now Toadstool and Bowser are like, hey, let's go home. And I like that Booster just kind of stands there and doesn't really do anything about it. But, trying to leave, now the chefs show up with the cake they made. And of course they're mad that we're leaving, because they want people to enjoy the cake. So they decide to fight us. I mean, if I spent all day on a wedding cake that probably cost hundreds of dollars, I'd probably want to fight somebody if nobody ate it too. Okay, while the chefs are still here, I like to call this the pre-fight. Your goal is to hit the cake. Just keep on smacking away at the cake. The chefs themselves are invincible, so don't even bother with them. The chefs are not happy that you're beating up their cake. There we go. We got a little jiggle jiggle. Now the apprentice says to the main chef, "The cake's moving." And he says, "No, it isn't." Just casually gaslighting his own apprentice. And there it moves again. Alright, and this will mark the end of the pre-fight phase, and we'll get into the real fight. The cake will start moving, it'll scare off the chefs. So like I said before, the cake attacks with powerful magic and physical attacks. It also attacks with some status effects. Compared to the rest of the game so far, Bunt is probably one of the hardest bosses. You really have to be ready for anything. He has 5 candles. Our goal is to put them out. And to do that, we have to hit him. Every time you hit him, a candle goes out, but then as you're about to see, each turn he will restore them. Sandstorm is not a great opener, because fear status means you take extra damage from attacks. But anyway, since he does restore his candles, it's kind of this delicate dance of trying to make sure you're putting out the candles before he has the chance to restore all of them, and keeping yourself healed. Having an ally lose their turn to something like sleep, or from being dead, is not great. I only have the 1 wake-up pin, but if you wanted to buy more, just to make sure you kept people alive, I wouldn't blame you. Now, Mario being dead is really bad, because he's the first person that attacks during a turn. So we just lost his turn. Ow. Malo has the wake-up pin. I hope this is targeting him. Yep, lost Mario's turn again. Yeah, I didn't bring anything to heal that. The one good thing about fear status is it overrides sleep status, so Mario is now awake. I'd rather have him be feared than be sleeping right now. Bowser, still just an absolute tank. Alright, once you've got all 5 candles out, it just takes 1 more hit. And there you go. So now we're into phase 2 of the fight, which is much easier. We're just fighting the bottom half of the cake. Who eats a raspberry cake? But like any normal enemy, you just gotta get its HP down to 0. There's no real trick to this bottom half of the fight here. It doesn't ever heal, so keeping your allies alive is easier, because you're not worried about damage you've done being undone. And it is weak against jump, which is helpful. Do not step on the cake. And there you go. That's Bunt defeated. So now the Sniffets are here to say, wait a minute. That was the whole point of this party, was for Booster to have his cake and eat it too. Hey, number 1, where's my cake? And you're standing on it, my friend. I don't know what the implication is here. Has Booster never seen a cake in his life? Or is this thing so weird he just doesn't recognize that it's a cake? And word to the wise, don't boil a cake. It's disgusting. But one way or another, Booster is finally getting his wish to eat his cake. The cake, raging against the machine, doesn't want to get eaten, but too late. Will the fact that the cake is still alive when Booster eats it lead to some sort of otherworldly indigestion? Maybe. But with the cake eaten, the wedding is officially over. Time to leave. Good job, team. Toadstool says she does want to get married someday. Mario seems to be volunteering his tribute there. Will the princess ever see him for what he truly is? I'm starting to think their relationship is toxic. You deserve happiness, Mario. Alright, now that Booster has cleared out, Raz and Rainy can finally have their wedding. You can go see them if you really want to. I do. And this kid, who's shaking, really has to pee. So he goes to pee. If you stand here, Mario will pretend to marry them. Organ guy. A Todovsky original, apparently. Sorry, had to be done. Alright, so this little exit here exists for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to anger your party. Presumably, this is the path that leads to Star Hill. It doesn't actually function. There's no reason to ever go through this exit. But by trying to go through this exit, Princess is saying, hey, you're supposed to take me back home. And if you just keep saying no, your party members come out one at a time. Nah. Gino trying to be the voice of reason here. If we don't get the princess back, we'll be charged with kidnapping. No. Bowser. No one is authorized to kidnap the princess except me. It just wouldn't be right. He's kind of got a point. If you just keep saying no, they're just mad at you. Doesn't change anything though. You can't actually leave through this exit. At least not right now. Yeah, the game doesn't really want you to do anything but take the princess at this home, or take Princess home at this point. So much so that we get this forced little cutscene, taking us to the Mushroom Kingdom. So before we leave, or before we do anything else, we've got to take her home. And it's the princess. Lead on. To clear up a misconception I keep hearing, you can't get this frog coin chest at this stage of the game. You just can't. You can see that I just mashed through the dialogue text as fast as I could, and I still couldn't catch up to Toad as he was walking through the door. So there was no way I was going to be able to jump on his head. But once more, there's an invisible wall that appears anyway. So even if you were somehow fast enough to do that, you couldn't get up here. It would just block you. Sorry. Okay, now it's time for a little exposition. Everyone is going to be catching up with each other. We're going to talk to the princess and the chancellor. It's one of the classic RPG tropes of we've fulfilled one of our main missions, we've got a full party, so let's talk about what we've done up to this point and where we go from here. So the princess is like, why are you traveling with all these people, especially Bowser? And the chancellor's like, what the what? What is he doing here? So, for everybody, they just kind of summarize what's happening. Bowser kidnapped the princess, Mario went to rescue her, giant sword crashed into the keep, sending them all flying in different directions. There was this whole thing with the Star Road that broke apart. Smithy took over Bowser's castle. We've got to stop Smithy, collect the pieces of the Star Road, and put it back together again so wishes will continue to be granted. All of that good stuff. Featuring Bowser playing his role as Bowser's Keep in this little demonstration. They've thrown me out of my own... I mean, I decided to take a vacation. Yeah, Bowser doesn't want to admit that he was thrown out of his own castle. Mario begged me to let him join the Koopa Troop. Dude, the Koopa Troop is awesome. You should feel privileged. And then Malo throws out this whole, yeah, I'm going to find my real family, that's why I'm on this journey. And Princess is like, goodness, that's terrible. Anyway, moving on. And this is the part where Gino explains what the Star Road is and the star pieces. And Gino just kind of casually introduces this paradox of free will into the universe. Bowser can kidnap Princess Peach, but without the Star Road, you couldn't make a wish that she would be rescued, and then Bowser would have her forever. But then, what if somebody made a wish that he didn't? Or that he did kidnap the princess, and the wishes can't come true? I don't know. It's all very confusing if you think too hard about it. The princess says, hey, this is awful. I want to help save the world, so I'm going to join you. And the Chancellor's like, you can't do that. And then the Chancellor, a little slow on the uptake, he realizes, okay, just because the princess is back doesn't mean the world is safe. You still gotta go beat this Smithy guy. Or has she? Alright, now we just gotta step outside and the princess comes floating down. But what happens if we just try to leave? Yeah, you can't leave without the princess. You can always count on Gram. And Malo suggests, why don't we go see Frog Fuchsius? Because he knows everything. He probably knows where the next star is. So that is how the plot gets advanced. And with that, we have the princess on our team. Got a full house. Let's go see Gram. Gram is a bro, and has disguised herself as the princess. I mean, it's a pretty good impression, honestly. What say you, hidden guy? Avoid fighting the pointy monsters up on Star Hill. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, now that we've got all the cutscenes out of the way and we're free to go do the rest of the game here, we're gonna save, and that's gonna be it for this video. But the next one will be the one where we do all the side content. There's actually quite a bit that opens up once you rescue the princess, so there's quite a lot to do. We'll see all that next time. Thanks for watching.